Listen, they might be remaking this, but they will never be able to match the vibes of this movie or get a cast as stacked. Let's do it. The faculty opens up introducing us to the principal of Harrington High School, Principal Drake. She and some other teachers are talking about the budget and how all the money in the school goes to the football team because it's all that they fucking care about. They all leave for the night, but Miss Drake realizes that she forgets her keys, so she has to go back inside. And when she does, she runs into the school's football coach, Joe Willis, who we had seen earlier somebody approach him from behind threateningly, but we never saw who that person was. He proceeds to attack Miss Drake with a pair of scissors, but she manages to escape. And she runs into Mrs. Olsen thinking she made it to safety, but Mrs. Olsen proceeds to stab Miss Drake. So the next morning, the students all arrive for school, not knowing anything that happened. And we meet the students that we're going to focus on. So we have Casey, who is kind of nerdy and gets bullied. Delilah, who is super popular and the head cheerleader. Delilah's boyfriend, Stan, who is supposed to be like your dumb jock, but he wants to quit the football team so he can focus on his academics. Which Delilah's like, no, that's a terrible idea. You're supposed to be a dumb jock. Zeke, who is like the bad boy who's been held back a year and sells drugs to the other students. We see that he specifically sells this drug that's like ecstasy in ballpoint pens to disguise it. Stokely, who is supposed to be like the weird outcast goth girl. And Mary Beth Louise Hutchinson, who is this adorable little Southern belle who just transferred to the school. Mary Beth tries to befriend Stokely because Stokely doesn't have any friends, and Mary Beth obviously doesn't either because it's her first day. But Mary Beth meets Zeke, who she immediately develops a crush on, and he likes her too. We learn that Stokely actually has a crush on Stan. Throughout the day, we see Zeke be confronted by Miss Burke, who's another teacher who just condemns him for selling drugs because she knows it. That day, Casey finds this weird little creature out on the football field and he brings it into his science teacher. Mr. Furlong tells him that he thinks this is a new species that Casey just discovered, and when he goes to investigate it, the thing bites him on the finger. So the day goes on, and we learn that Delilah is the head of the school newspaper and Casey is her assistant. So the two of them are trying to find a story, and they decide to hide out in the teacher's lounge to see what they can get. The teachers come in, which forces them to hide in a closet where they find the body of another teacher. We had seen that teacher earlier go to Stan for help, and her skin and hair was literally like melting off. Casey and Delilah watch through the closet as Mrs. Olsen and Mr. Willis attack the school nurse. So Casey and Delilah escape, and Casey goes to his parents, who call the police and bring them back to the school. Miss Drake shows up and assures Casey that everything is fine. Police, of course, don't believe him, and we see Miss Drake take one of the officers into her office. She does whatever they just did to the school nurse, because when they attacked her, we saw them insert some like parasite into her through her ear. And essentially, it's making them all fucking aliens. So Casey is the first one to catch on to this, and the next day he tells Delilah, Stan, and Stokely about his theory. He tells Zeke and Mary Beth as well, but they think it's a fucking joke and they laugh at him. Until Mr. Furlong comes in and attacks them all. Zeke injects Mr. Furlong with one of his pens with the drugs in it, which immediately causes the alien to like show itself and kills him. Through investigating the specimen that Casey found, they found that this drug will kill the parasite. They all go back to Zeke's house where he makes them all take this drug to make sure they're not infected. It's very The Thing. But instead of testing the blood, they're taking this drug. Through taking the drug, we discover that Delilah is infected and she attacks them, so they flee. So Stokely has this idea that if they kill the head alien, it will kill all the other aliens. So they go back to the school where there's this big football game happening. Yes, one of the players is Usher. He's in this movie too. And we see that they are infecting the opposing team's players with the alien parasite too. So they believe that Miss Drake is the head alien, so they proceed to shoot her in the head and then cover her in drugs, and the parasite does come out and die. Stan goes outside to check if it worked, but he finds Mr. Willis and the football team like this, so it didn't. Miss Drake was not the head alien. When Stan comes back to the gym, we find out that he is infected too, so they lock him out. At this point, they've used up all their drugs, so Zeke and Casey make a plan to go to Zeke's car to get more drugs out of his trunk. Casey creates a distraction while Zeke goes to his car, but once he's there, he's confronted by Miss Burke, who is now an alien as well. She proceeds to attack Zeke, but he's able to drive his car away and throw her off. Meanwhile, back at the gym, it's just Mary Beth and Stokely. At this point, Mary Beth reveals that she is the head alien and she infects Stokely. And when they went to take the drug, she was able to like close her nostrils and fake taking it. So Zeke and Casey are back at this point and watch Mary Beth attack Stokely and become her true alien form. They hide in the locker room where they are then confronted by Mary Beth back in her human form, and she explains that she's doing this because her planet is dying, so she's trying to take over Earth. The boys then learn that Stokely is infected too, and she and Mary Beth attack them. During the struggle, Zeke gets knocked out, but Casey takes the drugs from him as Mary Beth, now in alien form, corners him. And just as she infects him, Casey stabs Mary Beth in the eye with the drugs, which ultimately kills her. Casey stops being transformed since the alien queen is dead. And then he goes back to the locker room and finds Stokely and Zeke alive and well and uninfected. So we then cut to a month later and we see that everything has seemingly went back to normal at the school. Everybody's back, everybody's not infected. Dan and Stokely are dating and she's apparently no longer a goth and is fucking preppy, I don't know. Zeke is now on the football team. Miss Burke watches him practice like lovingly. There's some inappropriate shit going on here for sure. Delilah has finally given up her like stuck-up popular girl persona and is now dating Casey. The final shot we get is of these newspaper articles talking about how Casey saved the school from an alien invasion despite the FBI denying these claims, and the movie ends.